Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review where I'm looking at this, the TaylorMade Qi10 Rescue from 2024, so the last year's model. Now, the reason I'm looking at this today is because obviously being the last year's model, you can potentially go and pick this up brand new for a deal and even pick up an even better deal in the second-hand market as everyone goes, I need to replace my Qi10 with a new Qi35. Of course, as we know from this channel, you do not need to replace your clubs for brand new clubs every year because there is barely any difference. So with that idea, means you can basically pick this up, get exactly the same performance as a brand new model for a fraction of the price. And that's why I'm reviewing it for you guys today. And also because it's one of my clubs. I actually have this in the bag. I've had it in the bag all year. I can't imagine I'm going to be taking it out this year. And that's why it is quite battered, because I do tend to use my 3 hybrid quite a lot, you know, for shots under the tree, out the rough, etc. It is definitely a rescue club for me. So there you go. And with the honour, the fact that we are reviewing a TaylorMade club, I put on my new TaylorMade cap here. I really do like their old school emblem that they're sort of going back to at the moment. I think it's a really cool thing. A lot of the brands are actually doing it at the moment. Also the staff's got a really cool one out as well at the moment. So nice to have a few retro things pop up every now and again. But anyway, as always, let's, get into this review of this club. So let's have a closer look at it. And I do apologise, as I mentioned, I have used this all year. So it's very, well, it's not actually that battered. I'd like to see a bit more wear mark in the middle of the face, obviously, but ain't perfect, as we all know, especially seeing my swing. But anyway, so I'll have a closer look at the club. Come back here, we're going to go through all the technology that's in it. Going to get down to the range, throw some figures at you. Come back here for the ACS Golf scale and give them maybe a few other options if you don't even want to spend this type of money on this club. And we will mention as well when going through the technology, there is a little bit of a difference between this and the brand new Qi35. All right, now without further ado, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, and it is a good looking thing. Personally, for me, I haven't been a fan of the Qi10 range, not for their performances, don't get me wrong. Their drivers last year were immense. That's why a lot of the tour players are still using them, to be fair, and the same with their fairwoods and their hybrids, etc. But I just didn't quite like the look of them, you know. Loved all the M range over the years, loved the Sim 2 looks, loved the, you know, especially loved actually the Stealth and the Stealth 2. I really did enjoy that red, and obviously loving the Qi range this year. But for some reason, the Qi10, I just didn't fall in love with it. I don't know why. I just didn't quite like the soul of it for some reason, even though it is still a good looking club. But that is definitely just my opinion. Head cover, though, oh, it was an absolute game. Qi10 head cover was gorgeous. Better than Qi35 this year, to be fair. Really, one of the best head covers I think they've produced for years. So fair play there. Now, into the technology that is in this club. So remember, with this is a Qi10 Rescue. So before I lose my voice, there you go, it has come back, yes. So the Qi10 Rescue, there were 3 models that came out this year. You had the Qi10 Tour, I think it was called the Tour, basically the better player, adjustable, weight at the front, low spin, etc. Very much a smaller head. And then you had the Qi10 Max, which was very much a bigger 3 hybrid, well, bigger hybrid in general, you know, maximum forgiveness. And this one was sort of in the middle, the one that sort of could be used by a more range of plays. You know, not only does it offer good forgiveness and good distance, but also offered that little bit of workability that a better player would look at. You know, very much a middle ground sort of club, a bit like your sort of your middle ground drivers. So yeah, so definitely at your middle range, wider spectrum of golfers, I'd say, would use this over the Max and over that Tour version. Now, going into technology that's in this club, so we've got carbon crown, as you can see there, and from a closer look. So construction with a larger carbon crown frees up mass to enable lower CG and added forgiveness, complete with an advanced laser alignment feature, allows for precision aim. So I don't know exactly what they mean by the aim. I don't know if they mean the actual TaylorMade on the top there, but yeah, carbon on the top so they can move around move around weight on the bottom, guys. Definitely struggling today, aren't I? Anyway, so they can move around weight on the bottom of the club. V Steel Sole, which has been around for years now. So the V Steel Sole redistributes weight to enhance forgiveness while still maintaining a low CG. The sole has a depressed toe and heel, which you can sort of see here, for better turf interaction through reduced friction, plus provides additional versatility when playing from tight or difficult lies. So you've sort of got this sort of V sole there, you know, to help with that sort of hit. So there and there, you know, they won't be digging into the ground to sort of help get yourself through that turf. Don't really know why you got that bit there, to be honest. I can't imagine that helps with turf interaction, but you know, you do have the V still more prominent, I'd say, in the Qi35. You definitely had it more prominent in the Stealth 2, all the way back to sort of the Sim hybrid. So yeah, it's been around there for years, the V still, but it just looks a bit odd on this one. I think that's why I don't particularly like the look of the Qi10 over the other models. Moving on to the through slot speed pocket, which we know has been around for years and years and years and years. It features TaylorMade's most flexible speed pocket, engineered to maximize forgiveness and provide additional ball speed on hit low strikes off the face. So to give you as much ball speed and forgiveness when you're hitting off the bottom of this club, which is perfect in what a hybrid needs in my mind, because you know, people are using hybrids such as myself. I'm not going to be coming down on it steep enough or sweeping enough to be hitting in the middle of the face every single time. A lot of the time, I'm going to be off the bottom of these grooves. So to have that added forgiveness there with the speed pocket, perfect. It's going to keep that ball speed up and it's going to get the ball going to where I need it to. So yeah, love that bit of technology. Also, it does have twist face. So if you know, twist face has been around for years and years and years. Was it the Sim that brought it in, twist face? I think it was, or was it one of the M's? Can't remember off the top of my head. Let me know down in the comments down below if you do know. But it was definitely around that sort of era. The idea is off-centered hits. You have a twist face to help keep that ball straight. Some people get on with it really well. Some people don't like it at all. But there you go. The idea is, if you hit off the toe, it will come out straighter. Heel, etc., come out straighter because they have that sort of twist face there. Moving on to stuff that it doesn't have. So they still haven't brought that sort of carbon face into their woods or their hybrids yet. I can't imagine they could do it, just because the way they do it with the driver, you know, they stick it on there, etc. You don't think you've got enough real space to do this on that and the fairway woods. We'll wait and see. Also, with the Rescue and the Max, it's not adjustable. So you can't loft it up or down. Now, with the new Qi35 across the range, you do have an adjustable hosel, and it's the first time TaylorMade have done that for years across the range. Don't get me wrong, when you're going for the tour, so they're better players one, that's always been adjustable for a good few years now. However, they haven't put it in this model, so they've actually changed that for next year, well, Qi35. So that's a big one difference between this and the new model. However, that is pretty much it, so do be aware of that. And of course, aesthetics has changed a little bit as well, but there you go. But overall, beautiful hybrid. Again, I'm not a massive fan of Qi10, but generally looking down at it, beautiful hybrid, lovely shape on it. You know, TaylorMade for me have always made the better looking hybrids. I've never been a fan of the hybrids to sort of come out like that, you know, and then go straight down like that, a bit squarey at the end. Like Callaway do it a little bit and stuff like that. Never been a huge fan of that. So yeah, definitely the shape for me. Now, without further ado, let's get down to the range. Going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here for the ACS Golf Scale. All right. So here I am down at the range with the TaylorMade. Now, for me, anything with a hybrid above sort of 210 total distance is spot on. So with this club, I was getting a carry of 196 yards, total distance of 215 yards, ball speed 138 miles per hour, launch angle 13 degrees and height 70 feet. So really happy with that. Really happy with the control this club gives me as well. You know, if I need to, I can hit low shots, I can hit high shots, I can move it right or left. It is very versatile, which is perfect for this type of club. Love the sound of it as well, and do love that head shape behind the ball. Longest, when I really went for it, I got 213 yards, total distance, that's 213 yards carry by the way, total distance 232 yards, ball speed 147 miles per hour, launch angle 11 and height 71 feet. With the shortest, which is a really, really, really poor hit, Only got 182 yards carry and 198 yards total distance and a launch angle of 17. I mean, I merely missed the ball and it went underneath it somehow, but that just shows you how much forgiveness is actually in this club to get it that, and it actually went straight as well. You know, there was nothing with this club either left or right too much. If there was something that's left, which is my type of hook, it was very much down to me just pulling it, and you could put the most forgiving thing in my hand on the day and I will still do that shot. Nothing to do with the club. So really happy with the performance. And here's those numbers in a table for you. You know, longest, again, really pleased with, and 147 ball speed as well. You know, when I really need to go for this club, I can. Had another one, 146 ball speed as well, actually 224 total distance. So, you know, this thing, if I need to push it, I can push it. So generally just really happy with the performance, happy with the ease to hit as well. You know, it is a very versatile and very easy hybrid. So there you go, and some great performance by this club. And that's exactly what I'd expect. For me, TaylorMade are the pinnacles when it comes down to hybrid. They are the best makers out there. Don't get me wrong, with technology and everything like that, I mean, your Pings are right up there with them. I mean, your Titleis's are right up there with them. I mean, Cobras as well over the years. So everyone's, let's be honest, is probably quite close to them. But for me, with their legacy, the fact that they created the Rescue Club, you know, they brought Adams in 2014, took all the technology there to really propel them there. You know, all the other firms for me have been playing catch up. I think they're all there now, but it still means if I think of a Rescue and what I'm going to put in a bag for a Rescue, I'm always gravitated towards TaylorMade, and they never ever disappoint. I haven't tried a TaylorMade hybrid yet that has disappointed me. So yeah, really, really happy with the performance. Getting into the numbers, you know, carry wise 196 yards, total distance 215 yards, ball speed 130 miles per hour, launch angle 13, height 70 feet. Smashing, exactly what I'd expect from my hybrid. Not too much of a rocket ship. I remember the sim TaylorMade actually had to take out the bags. It actually generally was just too long for my gapping. This is perfect, which is good. I mean, when the sim came out, you know, it was just the sim. You know, there wasn't any other clubs. This, you know, you have those other options out there. You know, play the tour if you want a little bit more distance. I think either the tour or the max will give, but one of them will give you a little bit more distance. But anyway, so yeah, really pleased with it. But the thing for me, which I need this club to do, which it does really well, is, I'm not going to lie, you know, being a low handicapper, you know, playing off 8, there are a few golf clubs that I still cannot get my head around, and some days they do not work at all. My fairway wood is one of them. Sometimes I won't even carry a fairway wood. I'll actually carry a mini driver because I can hit that off the deck a little bit better most of the days, and also I can hit that off the tee if it's a tight fairway. But I put a 3 wood in the bag at the moment. It's actually TSR 3 plus, which is actually a little bit 2 3 plus. That's a little bit bigger than your normal fairway actually to maximize distance. It's working really, really well. However, there's going to be days where it's not going to work. And I'm going to be, rather than 215 from the green, about 230, 240, which is probably my fairway wood distance. And I'm not going to have the confidence to hit that shot. So I want to know with this hybrid that I can push it that far. If I really want to swing out of my boots, you know, I'm going to have the confidence to do it. And that's exactly what I can do with this club, which makes me really, really happy with it. You know, longest on the day was 213 yards, total distance 232 yards. So 213 yards carry, by the way, 232 yards total distance, ball speed a whopping 147, launch angle 11, didn't get the launch angle that great, you know, height 71 feet, and that thing flew, and there was another few around that 224 mark sort of thing. So I can push this when I need to push it to get a little bit more distance. So I know, all right, the fairway's not working, or the line's a little bit dodgy, I can absolutely smash this and get it down there. So for me, that is perfect. That makes me really, really happy with it. Don't get me wrong, that's not my averages numbers. That's me really swinging as hard as I can. And I love the fact that this club gives me the confidence to do that and performs when I need it to do. So, need it to do, performs when I need it to. There you go. So yeah, so really, really, really pleased with that. So yeah, great, great thing. Now let's get into the ACS Golf scale. So we've got distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Yes, with this, I can push that 230 mark if needed. However, on average, it is around that 215 mark total distance, which is about normal for me for a hybrid. So, well, a little bit more normal than normal, I'd say. So for me, it's a 4 out of 5. This isn't going to be the longest hybrid out there. No, you know, this has been built for forgiveness, you know, distance, and also, you know, versatility, you know, being able to move the ball left and right, which this does quite well for what it is. You know, I'm really good with hitting those low penetrating shots that I need to do, you know, or if I need to, I can get it up in the air as well. So it's really versatile. And that's the whole point of it. It's not to go the furthest thing in the world and be like 20 yards longer than any other hybrid. You know, TaylorMade have realized that, hold on, no, you can't get it any further. You know, we produce some actually rockets. We're not going to be able to beat those rockets, you know, so let's get a club that's a great all-rounder. And that's exactly what they've done with this. So yeah, 4 out of 5, really happy with those numbers. And believe me, for anyone who's using this, you'll have enough distance in there. But if you want pure distance and you want the longest thing possible, maybe you don't want a hybrid, a fairway wood in your bag, you want a 2 hybrid, then maybe there's other options out there. But TaylorMade Sim, the original TaylorMade Sim, that might be an option. But overall, really happy with that. 4 out of 5, exactly where I'd expect this type of club to be, and maybe a little bit more, to be honest. Feel, 4 out of 5, love the feel of it. You know, feels springy off the face, feels really nice when you hit it well. I can definitely tell where my off hits are as well, which I really like. You know, I always like to know if there's nothing worse for me having a golf club that has no feel, and you know, you hit a bad shot on it, you think, oh, that felt all right. So, and then you look up and it's right or left of the green, or it's like 20 yards short, and you're like, I don't understand how that's happened. You know, I like to be able to feel it. So when I do that bad hit, I go, all right, that's going to be short. Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised that I actually managed to get there, but I know it's going to be short, and I know it's because of me, because I've missed the club face. You know, I haven't hit it as I need to hit it. You know, when the field's all the same, yeah, I hate that. I really do hate that. So yeah, 4 out of 5, really happy with that. Looks, I've given it 4 out of 5. So I have moaned a little bit about the Qi10 generally looks wise, but that shape is just such a good shape, good hybrid shape. It is my favorite type of hybrid shape. Not too big, quite compact, you know, but still big enough to, you know, give you confidence to really go for it. And I don't like big hybrids, because especially if I'm hitting out the rough, I don't like to have something too big behind it. I think it's going to get stuck and it'll just get in my head. You know, with this size, I definitely think I can get it through the turf if I need to. So yeah, really pleased with it. Not 5 out of 5 because not a huge fan of reflection on the top, especially in summer. I just feel like it can be a bit distracting when it's gloss. You know, I prefer it matte, but that's just me. And also, like I mentioned, I'm just not too sure about the bottom of the Qi10. It's just a little bit messy in my mind. So yeah, 4 out of 5, but still overall a really nice looking club. Now on to forgiveness. Now, as I mentioned, this is an all-rounder. It's not the most forgiving hybrid that TaylorMade do. That would be the Max, a bigger profile, so more MOI at the back. Obviously, that's going to make it its maximum forgiveness. However, forgiveness on this is still very good. So I hit one shot, and I kept this in the results actually, which actually brought the ratings right down. The probably average is a little bit higher than this. And I hit that 182 yards carry, 198 yards total distance, only 128 ball speed, yeah, launch angle 17, height 70 feet. It came so high up on that face, it nearly missed the club. It was such a bad shot, but it went straight and it got me 200 yards. I will take that any day of the week. Don't get me wrong, there's more forgiving clubs out there, will probably give me a little bit more distance than that. But overall, I'm really impressed by this. Also, I was testing this at the same time as a new Strixon ZXi hybrid review coming out in a couple of weeks for that. And that hybrid did a few mishits there, and it struggled a little bit, not the end of the world, but did struggle a little bit. This dealt with it very well. And that's my hit miss. Same with the driver, same with the fairway wood, and same with everything really. I tend to miss it here if I'm going to miss it, and it performed really well with it. So forgiveness wise, I'm giving it 4 out of 5. I feel like I could get it at 4.5 out of 5, but just because it is the middle of the range one, I don't want people who should be going for the max basically going for this. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 just for that reason. But on another day, I could quite easily have given it a 4.5 out of 5. I don't think it's 5 out of 5, nowhere near it. You know, that is definitely for your max, your big old hybrids, your Clevelands, for example, you know, your really ultra forgiving hybrids. It's just all about forgiveness. This being an all-rounder, you know, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because you can move it a bit left and right. So if you're all over the place, it might be a little bit more exaggerated than normal. But yeah, 4 out of 5. Possibly, if I was feeling really generous, I could have given it 4.5 out of 5. Now on to price. So as much as this is a amazing all-rounder, you know, 4, we've gone 4 across the board, which is really, really good. Normally you sort of get a bit peak and troughs. This has been great. Price-wise, I'm only giving it a 2.5 out of 5. And I'm really struggling to keep my voice going today. I don't know why, but anyway, bear with me. We will get to the end of this, I promise. So 2.5 out of 5 for me. Now, the reason for this is brand new is £199. I'm changing that to 3. 2.5 out of 5 is a bit brutal. I'm changing to 3. So you buy this brand new £199. You can buy it, you know, in the US for $229, well, $230 roughly. So for that, I think that's really good. 3.54, because I think it's a great option out there for brand new clubs. If you want to get something brand new, get fitted for it, and you don't want to buy something like the new Qi35, etc. So I think that's great. But there is, sticking with the 2.5, I'm taking it back. I know I said a 3, I'm taking it back to 2.5, but there is a little bit of a potential issue with it. So 2.5, by the way, for price is exactly where I think it should be. So this price is exactly where I think it should be for being last year's model. So 2.5 isn't bad, it's just where it should be. You know, we're looking for bargains. Bargains is 2.5 and above, you know, 3 and above. Now that's when we start getting bargain territory. This is exactly where it should be. So yeah, we mentioned brand new price. Second-hand price on Golf Bidder, it's £148, well, just under £150. It's around just under $200. So Golf Bidder is a second-hand store over here in the UK. And then for that, you can get the Stealth 2. You know, well, for cheaper than that at Golf Bidder, you know, you can get the Stealth 2. So the model before this, for £120, is around $160. Going to be pretty much exactly the same performance, just a different colour. You can get a TaylorMade Sim, which is one of the best hybrids TaylorMade ever done. It was the first hybrid that actually Rory McIlroy put in the bag. He was that impressed with it. You know, and that thing's a rocket ship with plenty of forgiveness still as well. And that's, you can pick up brand new for, second hand on Golf Bidder for £85 roughly, which is about $110, which is an absolute bargain. And then you're looking at same things around the same price. You know, last year models, you can pick up the TSRs for the same price, the Paradigm AI Smokes for the same price. And then you've got things like the Cobra Dark Speed, which is a really good hybrid from last year, being about £10-15 cheaper, $20 cheaper, etc. On eBay, these tend to go for about £140, about $180. If you're lucky, around £120, $160. So it's exactly where it should be, and there's a lot of other really good options, a little bit older, for cheaper. So that's why I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5. It's not quite a bargain yet, but if you buy it for the price it's going for, you're buying it for exactly what I expect you to, and you won't be disappointed by it because it is a great club. So there you go. All right, guys, now I hope you enjoyed my review of the Qi10 Rescue Hybrid. Sort of rambled on a little bit near the end there, but never mind. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like. Remember to subscribe to the channel as well for weekly ACS Golf reviews and more. And also comment down below, do you play a TaylorMade Rescue? If you do, what's the model? And would you change it for the new one? Or are you going to be happy with that and keep that? Because to be honest, I can't see this coming out of my bag. Definitely not this year. I might change it next year just because it will probably be so battered by the end of this winter. I'll probably want something a little bit newer in the bag. Looking newer, that is. Might not be a new model, but looking newer. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you soon for the next ACS Golf review. See you then. Bye-bye.